Hello and welcome to the Fact Check Podcast. My name is Sylvia, and the Fact Check Podcast is all about debunking misinformation and disinformation, because we believe in this world there is a lot of information and we feel it's very important for us to separate facts from fiction. Today we're going to be discussing a very important topic: navigating life after high school. There are a lot of youths out there that are done with high school and they're probably stranded on what to do and maybe misled. But I'm not alone. I'm with my co-host
Racheal, and indeed, like Sylvia has said, there is a lot of misinformation out there, to be honest, in this day and age. But how do you navigate it? You know what I mean? So how do you make your decisions? You really have to be guided with wisdom, with the facts, and really that's why we are here today. And our topic is rather timely this time around. We are going to be helping the youth out there. You know, I believe in a couple of months, the Form 6 exam results are yet to be released, right?
Yes.
And I know there's a bit of tension there, the pressures and all these things, but then the bigger question is what next, right? There are traditional methods or traditional forms of how to tackle that, which typically really is, you know, now you have to apply to go to university.
Yeah, sure.
But is it really what you have to do? You know what I mean? So we're going to be discussing all that and more juicy stuff ahead. So stay tuned and let's do this.
And but before maybe we can delve into the myths, I want to believe that youths out there face life depending on their personalities and all that. By the time we end this podcast, maybe you will have discovered who you are and what you can really do after your high school.
That's a very good point. I feel like in any area of your life, to be honest, whether it's career-wise, you want to start career or you want to go on with your education, self-discovery is such a key element.
Yeah, sure.
So I am curious to see how you're going to be helping them to self-discover.
Sure.
But with that being said, we have a couple of points that were listed out, and these are typically myths. So we're going to be discussing them and hopefully debunking them also.
Yeah, sure.
And with that being said, let's go straight in. Our first one.
What people believe, is it right? Is it really right, or it's just a myth?
Exactly. Thank you for saying that. So, and I already pointed out, the first myth that we identified is
must you?
Exactly. That's the question that we have to be asking. Must you go to college right away or not? You know?
Sure.
What was it like for you? Did you actually join college right away after high school?
Personally, I got to join high school after, but I should say at some point I was also driven by that myth. I felt like it was a must for me to join high school right after, join university
right after high school. Yeah.
But it's a risk, I should say. Our youths out there, it's going to be a risk for you, but are you willing? Is your personality really able to contain the risk? Because there is you joining immediately, and you lose it. You lose it in the middle, which is not important. That means that you literally wasted the other years.
Yeah, which is very common actually.
Yeah, I want to put it in a way that it is okay if you don't join immediately. It is okay. It's okay for you to relax, collect yourself. It could be for different reasons. Yeah. Let it be money, please. Let it be that maybe you don't want to go to, you don't want to join university. But if you have the capacity to, if money is there, please. Yeah. You can join immediately. You can really join immediately. Most of the people, it's because of money. I would literally say it was because of money that maybe I was doubting whether I'm going to be joining immediately. Oh no. But with the kind of personality I have, I would contain the risk.
Right.
Yes, I would contain the risk. But I feel like it's okay. If you don't join immediately, you can literally collect yourself and join after. Yeah.
Well, that is interesting to know.
Sure.
And well, for me, I don't know, maybe if I'll differ from you a bit, because for me my answer is a yes and a no. All right.
Okay.
So my personal experience, obviously I joined university right after high school, but because it felt like there was a roadmap that I was supposed to follow, you know, after high school was university, like what was there else to do?
Yeah, sure.
So why is it a yes and no for me, really? I feel like uni sometimes is overrated.
Yeah,
to be honest, it's overrated. So like Naha has said, I agree with the fact that if funds or if it's the finances, if the finances are there, I don't see why not. You should go.
But also there is a fact that results are going to be released.
Right.
And like I said earlier, there are a lot of reasons as to why people youth don't join immediately. It could be because maybe they didn't perform well.
Yeah.
There is a myth that everyone should join university immediately, but it is okay. Diplomas and certificates.
I mean, I feel like there's a negative connotation to it. Feels like, okay, right after high school you need to be pursuing a bachelor's degree, but yet if you pursue a certificate or even a diploma, it could even be much more helpful than having a bachelor's degree. So anyway, back to my point where I was saying that I find that university sometimes is overrated. But someone who is going to who wants to join the medical field, the engineering field, those fields that are rather complex and require a certain level of skill set or technicality kind of a vibe, yes, definitely join the university. Some more, to be honest, because people who have built wealth, in my opinion, to which I really feel like by the time you want to join university because you want to get a good job, and then of course you want to make money and build wealth. So if building wealth is your ultimate goal, you could also explore being an entrepreneur. Everyone has no levels to it. You can start as young as you are. Secondly, I feel like by the time you're probably 19, right? That's the average age. You're 19, literally you don't know what you want to do in life, and that's okay. Don't feel the pressure of joining right away. So if you have leverage of taking a step back after high school, exploring yourself, maybe, exploring could be like hands-on skill set or your talents. If you have that leverage, do that. In the process, it might open your eyes or, open your mental eyes into what you want to do, and then in that regard you go ahead to pursue if it's a higher education or not. So for me, that's why really my answer is a yes and no.
Oh, okay.
Right, depending on the circumstances.
So it's okay for you not to join immediately. The myth is you should join university immediately because that's what society has, and I know it's very hard to deal. The biggest challenge to deal with is the mindset. You don't have to cling on that. You not to join immediately.
Yeah.
But if you can, please join. Lady, don't have the money, you can first collect yourself and pursue that later on.
Yeah, and also, in my last submission in that point exactly, like she says, if you have what it takes to join immediately, then do so. But if you don't, let's say you didn't perform quite well or you don't have the finances, that is not the end of the road. Don't feel like you're a failure simply because I'm unable. Look at the circumstances, look at the reasons why you're unable to, and then explore other avenues or other ventures, because there's always a solution. I'm happy to dive into that some other time because we will spend a lot of time on that topic. But yeah, that is it for me. Okay. Yes, I do have another one for us. So, myth number 2 that we identified is juicy, right? I want to hear what you have to say, Sylvia.
Sex equals to a high-paying job.
Yeah.
I want to say, yes, society has that.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that. Yes, it could be true, but we love saying stuff, but delving into it, even the people that are having those high-paying jobs, they've literally been building, and you are still young.
Yeah.
You just got done with high school, and this is the particular time for you to start learning. By the time you're 30, 28, maybe you're somewhere and through a process.
Yeah.
I want to tell you that immediately after my high school, and me as personally, I want to say I was outgoing. I was a leader in school.
Yeah.
I was the head prefect in my former school.
Look at her.
I think
okay.
But I had that personality of I really wanted to work. I wanted to explore. I wanted to learn. I was open. You get. So immediately after my high school, I went and I learned how to make juice.
Right.
You can't believe I worked in town.
Yeah.
There is a place called in town.
Yeah.
I said selling juice.
Yeah.
You get my point?
I do.
And I was dealing with people. I want to say I learned how people behave.
Yeah.
I go down. I don't remember, but all I can say that the time taught me a lot.
Yeah.
I know how to deal with people now.
Yeah.
Because I went through something.
Yeah.
Immediately after my high school.
Yeah.
You get it. It be hard sometimes, but sometimes we do learn the hard way. So right now, if I got a high paying job, or if I'm earning a particular amount of money, it's because maybe I've gone through something. I deserve it too. And by the time you're 30, my dear, and you relaxed after high school, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
You're literally going to be quitting. The hardest the hardest thing to deal with is human beings.
Yes.
To deal with human beings. But if you went through something immediately after your high school, trust me, you're going to be able to handle life, and maybe by the time you get that paying job, you're somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, well, first of all, I mean, it's, how best can I put it? It's interesting or nice to know that you actually had that kind of beginning, to which, like she has pointed out, you earned a people skill or a people management skill, which is an absolutely high value skill, for the lack of a better word to put it, for one to have, really, because the reality is, as soon as you start your journey or your career journey, you're going to be dealing with people.
Yes,
and you need to know how to deal with people for you to be successful in that area. But also when it comes back to the point, success equals to a high-paying job. There is a lot of things that comes to my mind to play when it comes to that. First of all, you need to be aware what a success looks like to you. And I'm thinking, if you're an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old who is just finished high school, this is not yet clear to you. Or maybe it is, maybe it's not, but not for many really. So you need first of all to define what does success look like to you, because that is also painted by society most of the time, which is materialistic. Obviously, it comes with, I'll have a car, or I need to have a house, or this or that, it's different. But once you have that, once you've clarified what success looks like to you, then let's look at how to build that success. To debunk this, I can't particularly debunk it, or maybe you viewers, you help me come to a verdict to it, but for me, to a smaller extent, yes, success sometimes equals to a high-paying job. But again, like Sylvia said, there's a process. To a larger extent, no. Look at the people that are considered to be wealthy in our society, in our community, or in Uganda particularly. Look at them. I can assure you most of them, if not all of them, are entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and they have a story to it.
Well, to which they have a story to, right? They have businesses, they have that. So maybe they did start from a job, and then they used it to build to their success, right? So I think for a young person, for a young man or young woman, right now shouldn't be worrying about that or worrying about having a job. Be worrying about having a job that helps you build your skill set, right? And what does that look like? Like Sylvia said, during her vacation, she went to sell juice, right? I think for me, let me try to recall, because it's been a couple of years.
Really?
I think for me, to be honest, I did a couple of things here and there. And I was creative with my hands. So I used to make necklaces, I used to make earrings, right? And I would sell those to my family members, to my friends. And I actually carried on this thing with me. And by the time I joined university, I was still doing it, and, a lot of things. But yeah.
And of course, if you've literally associated with Racheal, you can easily tell maybe she did that at that particular kind of time, maybe after high school, because of her personality, what she loves to put on. You can't move without a necklace, or I don't know. So you can see where the interest is coming from it.
There is more to that. I always feel like, what, out of my house when I'm looking shabby.
Okay.
That's another topic for another day, but yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, so key things you need to do. Define what success looks like. Then if you want to even take it a step further, create a roadmap. How are you going to achieve that success? You know, do you take up opportunities? I highly recommend for youngsters, you know, you just finish high school, take up opportunities that come your way, or even look for them, of course, like maybe work with someone, help someone to work in a shop, or, you know, whatever all these, I don't want to say low level kind of a thing, but I mean, for the lack of a better word, really, but look up these opportunities, take them up, because you are building skills. The number one thing that is going to help you build success really are your skills, are your skill sets. So build them from now, from now, for as long as you still have that opportunity, you build up on your skill set. By the time you choose maybe to join university at a later time or whatever the case is, you already have a multitude of of skill sets that you can leverage on, that you can even monetize. You can start, you know, making money out of them as you're studying using the skill set that you have. So yeah.
I think lastly on this particular myth, before we get to tackle the other myth, a lot of our youths out there, we love to listen to motivational speakers, and the statement success equals to a high-paying job sounds very
Catchy.
nice. It's catchy, it's motivating, but we want to tell you there is a lot more to that. Like Racheal said, you need to define what success is. What does it take for you to be successful? And then you can start the process.
Yeah. So yeah, well, that's my submission for that. Let's move on to the next myth. We have a couple of them lined up for you anyhow. So, myth number 3. Ooh.
Wow, you have to have everything
Figured out.
not really. I want to believe that every phase we are learning. Even when you have everything figured out, you will have to learn.
Yeah.
Yes, it is okay for you to plan, but don't be driven by the fact that if you don't have a plan, then you're going to be a failure or something. Personally, before I joined university, I didn't have a clear picture of how it's going to be. But as time, through like phases of life and learning and relating. So it is okay. Okay, it depends also on how someone defines having life figured out.
Exactly.
It depends, because there is having money. The money is there, and maybe you get to face some circumstances in life and they fail you or something. So yes, you should plan. You shouldn't be misled that you shouldn't plan. You should plan, but it is okay. Someone might say having everything out is not having money. Sometimes you have to risk, sometimes you don't, as long as it's not costing you the peace and your life.
Yeah, I mean, with that being said, you've had this statement. People say that, you know, sometimes things don't go as planned.
Yeah.
So there's no guarantee.
Yeah, sure.
That's for sure. This is a typical myth that I would say it's a no-no. You don't have to have everything figured out. Because first of all, what that does, it kills your confidence. So what happens when you know for sure, I don't have a bit, lack the confidence, you like literally dim your light. You're like, I'm not going to pursue, I'm not going to take on that opportunity because I don't have everything figured out. So how about that? You know, it's really, really a bad advice. Don't even listen to that advice. Having everything figured out, who, where, when. I don't even know of any person who does that, who has their life figured out, to be honest. Like Sylvia has said, it's a have a plan. Yes, have a plan. We always set goals, but there's no guarantee that those things are going to go the way you have planned. And also goals are allowed to change. As you evolve, as you grow, your values change. Your goals have to change. It's automatic, right?
And also the people that you surround yourself with.
Right.
You are still young, and most of the youths out there, when they get done with their high school.
Yeah. All right, so we are moving on to the third point. I do have another one lined up for us.
Okay.
Exactly, that's the question we need to ask, must you?
What's your experience?
When you ask that, what is your experience? Listen, really my experience is, all the way that I would debunk that is, no, you must not have everything figured out. Or you can't even have everything figured out. I do not know of anyone who has everything figured out, to be honest. The way that we navigate life is learning. You know, we are learning every day that comes by, or each day that comes by. It's another thing to have a plan. Yes, you're allowed to plan, you're allowed to set goals, you know, you're allowed to, you know, create a roadmap for achieving your goals, whatever they look like. But does that guarantee that you will actually achieve it? Or does that guarantee that now you have figured out? I really do not think so. There's an example that I want to share. I probably saw this on a TikTok quite recently, and this guy was talking about how not to be hard on your mothers because they also don't have everything figured out. They are living life as new experiences. For instance, if my kid is like 10-year-old, it's my first time to be a 10-year-old mother.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
I know, right?
So you have to have grace. So if our mothers or the people that we look up to are literally also having first time life experiences, who are you to even think that you must have life figured out?
Yeah,
you know, that is putting unnecessary pressure on yourself, but also it will kill your confidence. It will kill your confidence in terms of pursuing opportunities or even making decisions, because you feel like, I'm not fit for that because I don't have everything figured out. Until when are you going to be? Because there's only one way to, you know, gain that experience. You have to go through it, learn, allow yourself to make mistakes, and then, you know, in the next future, if you're faced with a similar situation, you're able to discern well or to make a better decision, because then you have experienced it before. Or that's the only time you can confidently say, I have everything figured out. So in relation to our topic, you know, you're fresh from high school, sincerely. I don't want to say what do you know, but your life experience in that regard is still not that rich, so you cannot have nothing figured out. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to, but also, you know, go for what you want, right? Don't let that fear of making mistakes or fear of being judged in that regard stop you from pursuing your dream career, or even trying out things, or even not even dream career, or figuring out or exploring what your dream career would look like. Yeah.
Tailoring to the fact that I think you literally said everything. Tailoring it to the fact that you're just fresh from high school. You don't have to have everything figured out. You having everything figured out is what society normally talk about. You can rotate from your passion. You get my point. As long as you have the passion, you literally have it in mind that I want to be a journalist. Even before you get the degree or the diploma or the certificate, you can start with what you have and build that from that particular point. You don't have to have everything. You can start with what you have, and that is the passion.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that, Sylvia. And I have another one for you. I'm just so curious to see what you're going to share on this one, and that is myth number 4. Rely on others.
Girl. Rely on others. You should rely on others. You should literally, you need people.
Yeah. Yes,
I said earlier that people are very hard to deal with. It's the hardest thing that you're going to face, to deal with. But you need people. So you can start now.
Yeah.
Learn people. Whichever process or step of life that you're going to be going through, you're going to be relating with people. And just like I said, I started up a business just right after high school, and the life I went through in the place that I was selling juice, I was relating with people.
Yeah.
Grown up men, grown up women.
Yeah.
The way they were behaving, I literally got to know that people really behave in this kind of way.
Yeah.
Right now, if anyone did something that I saw at that particular time, I don't get surprised.
Yeah.
I literally don't get surprised. So, if you learn how to deal with people, you will literally relate with them, because you need people at anyone at
all points, really.
Yes, you really need people. It is important for you to. You need others.
That's a very good example that you shared, Sylvia, right there. And for me, really, my addition is you do need people. Why? You need mentors, right? Yeah. At this point, you are probably still figuring out what you want to do, as we discussed earlier on in this podcast. You're still figuring out what you want to do, what you want to do. You want to go to university or not. I mean, it's another thing. We are sharing our life experiences. But in this regard, I would recommend that you even find a mentor, right? That is you needing people, right?
Sure,
so find a mentor who can even guide you and advise you. And how can you get a mentor? Like, after you've identified what you want to do, or maybe what success looks like to you, you're like, okay, I think I like this particular lady. She's in a field that I would desire to join. Let me reach out. Let me ask her, how did she do it? How did she get there, right? That is you utilizing or leveraging on the fact that we do need people, right? So you'll need people. Yes, you need discernment. Which people are you associating with? Which people are you listening to, or which advice are you taking from which, that kind of a way? And the friends that you have, of course, that plays a big role, because you could easily be misled, or you could get into bad company, at this point. That is kind of, it's a risk that is out there, you could get into bad company of like, let's enjoy life, and then you enjoy life and then you get caught in that loop, you know what I mean? To which there's no harm in enjoying life. But yeah, I think when Sylvia pointed out that by the end of this podcast, you will have some sense of self-discovery really. So with that being said, with the awareness of what you want to do, or maybe a direction that you want to take, reach out to people.
And allow me to say this, Racheal. You're fresh from high school, and I should say that the fact that you need people, the people that you surround yourself with at this particular time are going to some extent, are going to determine your future. How the people behave, the people that you're surrounding yourself with, how do they behave, how do they carry themselves in the future? If you want a high-paying job, these people that are going to employ you, all the customers that are going to come to you with whatever initiative that you will have come up with, will depend on how you carry yourself. And this will be reflected back to the kind of people that you are relating with right after high school.
Yeah.
Yes.
They play really a vital role. So
Try
they
to
either
look
make
for-
you or break you, kind of a vibe.
People that are going to inspire you. You can look at Racheal and be like, I want
Girl, please. No, say that.
like, personally, up to now, I am still learning.
Yeah,
Yes.
true. Me too, by the way. Yeah.
Learning. Like maybe I like how she behaves. I like how she does whatever she does, and you, in a blink of an eye, you see, because I'm around her, I'm also at behave like the way she behaves.
I mean, yeah. yes. Also, I think, like you say that, like we said, life is really a learning curve, I feel like, throughout, but yeah, thank you for saying that. No more, no additions to that. So yeah, let's move on to the fifth myth. I believe it's our last.
Yeah, sure.
And this is, your choices will define you forever. Now this, I need to say it with wisdom, to be honest, because there's truth to it. For me, it's the last part of that statement, forever. That's where I debunk that to be a no.
Yeah.
Yes, it will define you. Define you forever? I do not think so. I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
Okay, this is what I have to say. And by the time we're saying this, trying to help someone, a youth out there that has already made a bad decision.
Yeah.
So does that mean that it's going to determine their life forever? There is room for change.
Yeah, and
You get my
definitely.
point? Just like Racheal said, it's the statement forever is where she's having a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's not forever. If you've already made a bad decision, you're watching this, you're doing the right thing to watch this and probably have room to change.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree with that. You know what? One thing I've learned about life with the little time that I've spent on this earth, is there's always a to be. So think that your decision will define you forever is really a wrong way to think, in my opinion. It will only it will hold you hostage in a certain state of mind, which is literally the worst state to be, in my opinion. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. Maybe that's where we should start from. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make some for free. But if you ever get to a point to feel like, oh my God, I think I've messed up and my life will never change entirely. Now there is the line. That is not true. your life will. But by the time you even think of maybe my life is going to be affected forever, by the time you think of that, then you know there is hope.
Yeah, sure.
Literally, there is hope to turn around your life. There is hope to change. You know, I feel like there is nothing no one can recover from. You know what I mean? Or pictures, I don't know, I saw really some years back, this guy went into using drugs, and his mental state was definitely affected. He started living on the streets. He was homeless, he was dirty and all those things. Then at some point, I feel like there was this charity. I think it was a charity organization that reached out. They picked him up from the street. This guy was not mental.
Yeah.
He was just destroyed by drugs. They rehabilitated him. Now he's mentoring young men. He looks good. When I saw the difference between the pictures of him when he was still, using drugs and all, and that one, that like day and night. Literally a huge difference. And you wouldn't think that someone can recover from that.
Yeah,
for me, in my opinion, that was the worst case scenario. So for you right now, what would be the worst thing that you think you can't recover?
What bad decision that you've made, or what decision that you have made? There is room for change. You can always change. It's not forever. You can change.
Yeah, you can change. Yeah. All right, Sylvia, let's see. I believe that was our last myth for today. Before we recap, what do you have for us, or any last submissions, any piece of advice to these young men and women who just finished high school?
Okay. I have to say that just like I said in the introduction, that we are the Fact Check podcast, and we believe that there is a lot of information in the world, myths that are going to be misleading you or something. We are here to debunk the myths and maybe bring you the facts. We shall be hosting people where it's needed. We shall be hosting people that are experienced or prominent people that can help us debunk those myths that are circulated in the world, or information that is there in the world.
Yeah, I think.
And maybe what I have to say lastly, we hope this was helpful, and if it was, of course, leave a comment in the comment section, and of course, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Lastly, please love yourselves, not to hurt yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, with that being said as well, this is an exciting time. You just finished high school, and you still have around, I believe, 8 months. So you have around 8 months to make a decision on whether you want to join high school, rather university right away, or you want to explore entrepreneurship, or even travel the world if you have that capacity or capability. So take this time to make that decision. Feel free to reach out to mentors, people that you look up to for advice, so that you know that you're making the right decision, in my opinion. And don't forget to enjoy your life. And when there would be the things that would destroy your life instead. But enjoy your life. Breathe, because it was an intense, 6 years of studying, and the tension that comes from the exams and the results and everything. Relax. Spend time with your loved ones, with your parents and all those things. And don't forget, if you found this video helpful, or this podcast helpful to you, this particular episode, share it with your loved ones.
Sure.
Let me tell you, you never know who you might be helping. Share it with your loved one, but also leave us with your thoughts in the comment below. We would love to hear from you, and any suggestions that you think we could make us either for you, our dear viewers. So until next time, bye.
Bye-bye.